I'm Christine.
I'm Wilmer.
Yara. Tiksha. Angela.
Olive.
And I'm Michelle. And we're the
Social Experimenters.
So today, we're gonna be talking about the war on drugs.
The war on drug issue is gradually diminishing the reputation and dignity of the Philippines. This has also resulted to misunderstandings between Rodrigo Duterte, the President of the Philippines, and the other government leaders of other supporting countries. This issue has only affected the peaceful nature of the Philippines, but also the innocent lives victimized by the misunderstanding of drug lords. With an invalid reason, these people are being executed and human rights are being violated.
The article was written by Sarah Sullivan de Guzman on September 3, 2017. The purpose of the author of writing the article is because the war on drugs in the Philippines has been perceived to be focused only on the poor side of the society. This is to diminish the fact that not only the poor ones who sells and distributes drugs. This is also to give and spread awareness to those who are in need of such information. The war on drugs has drastically changed the system of the government.
When Rodrigo Duterte 2016 was elected as the President of the Philippines, he had drug addicts killed if he could not convince them to stop. He said, "The problem is, once you're addicted to drugs, your rehabilitation is no longer an available option." Philippines has the highest abuse rate for methamphetamine hydrochloride or shabu in East Asia. The State Department also disclosed that 2.1% of the Filipinos aged 16 to 64 were using drugs, and the domestic consumption of methamphetamine and marijuana continue to be the main drug threats in the Philippines. According to the article of the author about the reputation of the Philippines, the drug problem of the country is way too deep to not take it seriously. The critic's opinion regarding to the reputation of the Philippines for the use of drugs is that people nowadays think they know how to solve the problem with just being verbal and no actions. Accompanying their talks, they only bicker but don't act.
Extrajudicial killings rate arises when Rodrigo R. Duterte sits as the President of the Republic of the Philippines. Based on the critic's point of view, the war on drugs only focuses on the poor side of the society. Those in lower class or the poor are the major target of selling and distribution of drugs. According to Sarah Sullivan de Guzman from her article As a Matter of Fact, which was published at the year 2017, the fight against drugs involves cartels. Their distribution, logistics, and sellers are mostly from the poor side of the society. When those people who are in the higher class needs drugs, they send their poor acquaintances or servants to pick them up from the sellers. The sellers are those people who are not infiltrated by the police. This means that those rich buyers are safe. In line with that, as the critics have noticed in the news reports recently, the people who are victims of extrajudicial killings are those in the lower ranks. The author wants to inform the readers that the Philippines does not have enough resources to determine powder residue from the dead victim's hand to determine if he or she fired the gun, firing distances from the police report. According to the critics, the author presented it well, giving sufficient ideas and meaning about the topic. Also, the author gives emphasis on how the people from the higher class abuse the reputation to live of the people from the lower class.
Since President Rodrigo Duterte took over on June 30, 2016, Philippine National Police distinguished the crime rate under Duterte's administration increases. Meanwhile, as the crime rate continues to decrease, the murder rate increases due to the President's war on drug campaign. Critics get alarmed as the amount of deaths in the Philippines arises. Based on the critics' belief, policemen were abusing the power that was given to them by killing the people who they suspected that are drug dealers and drug users without even having enough evidence. As stated by Chito Gascon, chairman of the Philippine Human Rights, the police are essentially free to do what they will because they are almost guaranteed that they will not be investigated and charged. People who get killed are mostly small-time drug dealers and drug users who are poor. Critics presume that the Philippine National Police are effectuating suspect and remark that it is that likely police have a hand in thousands of unsolved murders of drug dealers and drug users by mysterious vigilantes. Even though international community are criticizing violence in the Philippines, Filipinos still supports the campaign of the President on war on drugs.
The Philippine National Police and Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency reported that more than 1.2 million drug users and 89,000 pushers have surrendered since the drug started. That resulted in a 26% reduction of the total drug market and a 29% drop in index crime across the country.
According to the researchers, when the President of the Philippines, Rodrigo Duterte, was elected, the rate of extrajudicial killings started to increase, and that the President's war on drugs campaign concentrates only in the poor side of the society, and that the fight against drugs involves cartels, financiers, and manufacturers. And when those high-class people needs drugs, they always send their poor acquaintances or servants to deliver it for them. And when the sellers are not infiltrated by the police, these rich consumers or the cartels are safe. The researchers also noticed that most of the victims of extrajudicial killings are those who belong in the lower ranks.
Despite of the war on drugs that is occurring in the Philippines, there are still remedies on how to prevent the issues from growing immensely. This mindset should be deviated in order to stop drug sellers. Policemen and politicians should not be given too much privilege so that they will not abuse their rights to the extent. To the policemen, since it is evident that their resources for investigation are not advanced, they should be educated to be professionals with their jobs. Regina Hechanova said, "We're about 20 to 30 years behind in our understanding of drug use." And she added more saying, "The understanding that our government leaders have, that's the understanding that the other countries had in the 1970s. Maybe the attention to it has not been there perhaps, especially in a country like the Philippines, where people are stigmatized. It's not something that people talk about. If victory over war on drugs is trying to be obtained, then the critic therefore concludes that, basing on the research, that it is due time to be inculcated about the war on drugs, to be more knowledgeable and aware of how this business works." So we hope that you've learned something from the social experimenters. We're not only here to give you entertainment, but we also want to give you some information, and we want you to be aware of what is happening in the world today. So thank you for watching and have a great day.